And ladies and gentlemen, we have a number of guests coming on here today just to give their little perspective on what's going on in Washington, what's up with the new ownership, are we good at quarterback, the draft, all of these coming up. And you're going to want to stay tuned for that because that it is going to be exciting. Some old faces, some new faces, some positive, and some people that are just ready to bring the smoke. Yeah, I think you know who that is. So, yo, while we are here, I'm so glad my guy alluded to it a minute ago. We have news. We have news. And first and foremost, welcome to Washington Football Weekly. We appreciate you being here with us on this Wednesday. And Will, we got news a lot earlier than expected from last week. But we got news that potentially this could be earth-shattering news, man. This is it. What's up, Will?
Yeah. Well, I will admit, way wrong when you asked me about the sale information. When is it happening? And I said not for weeks because I really thought the NFL would want the draft to happen and then you could transition into some stuff. But yeah, announcement that it was like a whirlwind of Jeff Bezos has announced that it leaked that he's not bidding on the team. And then the very next day, it's announced that Dan Snyder has accepted a bid, to sell the Washington Commanders. That's huge. Absolutely huge.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. And look, we've talked about it. We documented it that, Josh Harris, a businessman, really trying to come in here and make something happen. He's a shrewd businessman. So, he's not going to go out here, on a limb and do all this crazy stuff. He's going to make sure all his ducks are in a line. And he's associated in line with amazing people. Magic Johnson. And Will, you sent me a little message today. He put a significant amount into the pot, man, to help out, man.
Quarter million dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
Quarter billion dollars. I'm sorry. $250 million. Sorry, that's a big difference. Yeah. $250 million to Magic Johnson to be a partner in there. He brought in, so Magic, can be the face, one of the faces, one of the good spokesmen for it. Magic brings a huge business sense to it. He's an extremely successful businessman. He brought in Mitchell Rails, who's a local guy. He founded Sports Talk 980. Today him and his brother figured out in the early 90s that there was a need for sports talk radio that there wasn't happening. And they started that. They also have started they have a museum right outside DC in Maryland that's extremely popular, an art museum. So they're DC billionaires. And Josh Harris grew up in Bethesda. So we have two of the three biggest investors are Redskins fans. They're Commanders fans. Yeah. Like when we talked about who could be a potential owner, this was like exactly what we laid out. Like, wouldn't this be nice? And it is. Someone who grew up with the same franchise, going to games, has the same memories that we do.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that. But then I gotta shout out Magic. I gotta shout out the fact that we're bringing in Magic, and not just because I do have a personal investment in it. Yes, shout out to my baby girl Catherine Hughes, diehard Michigan State fan, and of all the things we talked about, she didn't say, "Oh, I hate Snyder." She didn't say, "Oh, let's see who gets in." She said, Magic might be a part of the investment group, right? He might own the team. I said, "There's other people that are ahead of him, but he might be a part of the team." So that's all she cares about. But I love that. I love that. And one of the things he said in his interview with, I think it was Fox 5 or one of the early mornings, those he said, in every other sport that he's part owner in, he has a ring. They have a championship. That's what I want to hear, Magic. I want to bring some of that real magic and not Fitz tragic. Okay, I want to bring that to Washington because I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. So, yes, sir.
He's a winner.
Yeah, absolutely. But is it okay? But we have to let's get the elephant in the room, and that's this part that kind of makes me. I've heard that yes, this is sold. It's pretty good. We're pretty certain that it's pretty good to go. But this non-exclusive thing, we've seen it in the contract with Lamar and how other teams still have the opportunity to look into him, get him, invest, whatever you want to say. Does this mean anything that it's non-exclusive?
I mean, technically, by legalese, it means that someone could come in with a bigger bid. and Snyder could accept it. So it's not, it's not a set in stone that's going to be, Josh Harris. But the thing you have to remember is Josh Harris was vetted by the NFL owners already. He finished second to buy the Broncos. So he's already been accepted by them. And so it's essentially, if he could work out an agreement with one owner, being Dan Snyder, then it's sort of a foregone conclusion that they will accept the bid when they're looking at it. And I think the bid has already gone to the NFL offices for them to look at and kind of put some, pencil marks to. They give back to say, hey, we noticed this. We need to look at this. So it still seems to be the final stages. Yeah. Could Jeff Bezos, if he wanted to, come in and say 6.5? And then that kind of backs everything up. There's the rumor out there that's not dying yet. There's another group, a former Duke Blue Devil, that wants to put down $7 billion. I don't think there's a whole lot of belief or legitimacy that they actually have the cash that they're saying. So I still think everything is all pointing in the direction of Josh Harris. And you know what? The other two franchises that Josh Harris owns are in the playoffs right now. The Sixers and the Devils are in the playoffs. And they have young talent. They have generational talent. And he hires people, some of the best talent, general managers, and says, go do it. And they've assembled some good teams. So there's some things to look forward to about that.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of what you were talking about, Brian Davis, he's the one who claims to have the $7 billion to potentially put in the bid for the team. And I'm not going to put any weight in that. It's just another person coming out here trying to say it. He was on, if I'm not mistaken, 106.7 The Fan today, talking about where his money comes from and, who it comes from and this and that. I'm not even going to give any light to it because I personally, from what we were saying, I don't think it's a possibility or it's going to happen. And we have a North Carolina quarterback. We don't need anybody in Duke in management. Okay, that's all I'm going to go with.
Yeah. What were your thoughts? Like, I know I was too busy at work to respond because I ignored. I couldn't get to you for most of the day. But what were your thoughts when that news broke?
Yeah, I honestly, when I saw the original, you talk about the Josh Harris one, right?
Yeah, the last Thursday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I saw this, I mean, obviously, you being a Washington fan, the same here. We were getting bombarded with texts. I had people left and right that I hadn't talked to in months hit me up like, yo, is it happening? Could it really be happening? But I do think that Ben makes a good point. Watch this owner thing drag up longer than it should. And that's why I asked the thing about the non-exclusive, because I'm excited and I'm ready, but I'm like, just get him out of here. Just get him out so we can start anew. Like, let's get this done before. And maybe you had mentioned before about this not happening until after the draft. Maybe this preliminary, news story came out, but really things won't get signed or dealt till after the draft. So, we don't know how long we're into it, but it's that feeling, Will. It's you're right at the finish line. You're right there. Mm-hmm. You can see it. You can see everything in front of you, but you still got to make it to that point. You know what I mean? And yes, everything out there says Dan's going to be gone, and the federal government's after him, and all this money, and then he moved out of his house. Everything that we've been reporting on for the last several months, but at the same time, there is countless number of things that he's done in his tenure that we've all said, oh man, this for sure will get him out of here, and he's still not out. So I just need to see him out the door. That's my perspective. I just need to see him out the door. I'm excited, but until we can have Josh Harris and that investment group come in-house and start really putting their fingerprint on stuff, Dan and his wife are still there, and I'm just not. I just need to separate us. We need to detach from him.
Right. I think it was like a combination of shock and like relief that, oh my gosh, this actually might be happening. But then, just like you said, is this really going to happen? So I'm with you. I'm more excited, I think, for the day that if they buy it, they get to have their press conference. I think that will be a bigger celebration day for me.
Exactly. And I'm excited to see that day. Cannot wait.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.